You knew he was in it.
You knew he was in it.
He's in the trailer.
I'm in the trailer. And what's that say? I don't know, man.
You're already feeling it. It's not even 9:30.
It feels... I feel like pizza.
You feel like pizza?
Yeah.
You just ate.
Not like I feel like having pizza. I feel like pizza.
I kind of do too.
I feel like...
I've not done super well with this whole eating healthy thing, but I've done enough
that
when I then stop,
it feels
it hits harder.
Yeah.
Like I've had pizza today, cookies,
like
tea,
and a cucumber.
A little bit of a cucumber, and I felt that immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I was over here like, and then I had those cucumbers like.
There's nothing better than like a fresh drink of water.
I don't think I've had
oil.
an actual glass of water in the last 2 days.
Dude.
It's been tea and milk.
Dude.
And juice. What do we have for breakfast? I had a bowl of cereal, which again is not great.
I had Pop-Tarts.
So we're doing horrible.
Yeah.
We're getting too old for this. We gotta be better. I just had the weirdest burp.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That reminds me, I had a weird dream last night.
Yeah, you did?
Do we want to start this fucking podcast?
My burp tasted like cucumbers and pizza. Your turn. And then we'll start the podcast.
And I'm Drew, and welcome back to another exciting adventure.
Oh, okay. I was eating pizza and cucumbers, and I burped.
Yeah, we just had a 5-minute conversation about why is my microphone peaking from your laugh, dude?
I'm sorry.
You gotta relax on that.
Mine peaked too. Is that gonna be a problem?
No, it's fine.
I laugh loudly.
Peaks aren't an issue. Me too. We're both dying from dinner. What's up?
You're not using it. Give me the pillow.
Okay. I say dinner lightly. We had cookies for lunch. I had Parmesan bites and a slice of pizza.
I had a couple of slices of pizza. We made cookies. I had a lot of sweet tea. And we had pizza for dinner.
Yeah.
So, if you are what you eat, we're trash.
We're garbage.
It's bad right now, y'all.
Yeah.
If anyone has ever seen that show, Lazy Town, with the superhero who's all healthy and shit, whenever he would eat candy, he would just shut down because of how healthy he was.
Yeah.
He couldn't eat junk food. It's kind of how
we're that minus the standard health.
Yeah, honestly. But he was okay. He was supposed to be a symbol of all things healthy.
Yep.
Sporticus.
Hmm?
He'd go to bed at 8 o'clock, and then he'd get up at 8 o'clock.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy. You slept for 12
That's obsessive.
hours.
That's what that is.
That's not healthy. If anyone slept for 12 hours, you'd be concerned about them.
Yeah. As a man who gets 12 to 14 hours of sleep every night.
Okay.
I resent that.
Right. See, I wish I got 12 hours of sleep. But if you were promoting health,
yeah,
and you were sleeping 12 hours, you were sleeping half your day away. You're supposed to be the symbol of health.
Right. I'm not flexing away on Nick Jr. trying to pretend that I'm on top of the
French
world.
mustache.
Ooh, with the curls on the end.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a good way to open.
Anyway, yeah, welcome back, guys. We finished our movie week.
Yeah.
So
now we're talking about
anything.
Mannequins.
We're back. Is that we want to start with that?
You want to talk about the mannequins?
Sure. Yeah.
I've got plenty of things to say about mannequins.
We can start there. Yeah. My question it goes beyond just mannequins, but watching some horror based things, it always seems like people will throw in mannequins for a cheap scare, a cheap goof. It's an easy way to, get a spook. And that brought up the question, are mannequins just inherently scary? Or is it more based on the environment? No. If it's scary, then a mannequin will be scary.
They are inherently scary, I believe, because it activates in our brain the the uncanny valley human looking thing.
Yeah.
Anything that resembles a human but we know isn't, we find uncomfortable.
Sure.
Some people were talking about that on the internet, and they're like, okay, why do we have that?
Yeah.
Aliens? And other people are like, probably dead bodies.
Okay.
Like evolutionary, if we saw an area with dead bodies, we were hardwired to then avoid whatever it is in that area.
Yeah.
But it could be aliens.
But that brings up my other question, are skeletons inherently scary?
I mean, they clearly are because of how they're used,
Right.
but I don't find them as scary because that's so much more just scientific.
Yeah,
I find it
I
very
think
scientific.
I think that's something that would be more scary in the situation of like being ancient, like back before regular school, because it's like a skeleton hanging up in a classroom is something that we know as like
We're
a
used to that
popular
imagery,
thing.
but like the skulls that line the walls in the catacombs in France, or whatever, that's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
But for some reason, if I saw a bone hand stuck on top of a table, like it has like clean bone, not fleshy bone.
Yeah.
Like that's weird. But for some reason, if I saw a mannequin hand, what the fuck is that? That's so. I find that so much more intentional.
My thought with the mannequins was less about the uncanny. That's a very good point. The uncanniness of it. But my thought was more like it is something that in the back of your mind, you know, is a human body meant to be disassembled, which kind of brings that like strangeness to it. That like you know this thing is made so you can see its arms and legs taken apart.
Yeah.
Which has some sort of like psychological weirdness to it.
If you want to get into more psychological stuff, you could probably also make an argument about how with a skeleton, it's like I don't know. There's a difference between there being bone facial features, and the slick nothingness of a mannequin's face or lack thereof.
Also, cucumber pizza breath is Andrew. We never really covered that.
Yeah, I think they assumed.
Yeah, well,
thank you.
You gotta cover it, just in case.
Yeah.
What if they thought, I don't know, special guest?
Special guest?
Yeah. This is my special guest, cucumber breath.
Doubt it.
Welcome to my politics podcast. We're going to talk about the Electoral College.
Pizza and cucumbers. They put weirder things on pizza, though.
Then what? Then the U.S. government?
No. Like,
there are weirder things in pizza than there is in the government?
Well...
Is that what you're saying?
No, but they put, like, there are weirder things on pizza than just cucumbers.
That's true.
And I ate them separately, so it's not like I put cucumbers on pizza.
Yeah. What do you feel about cucumbers as a sandwich condiment?
With things or just bread and cucumber?
With things.
I don't know. I feel like it's a weird consistency. But like, how different is it than from a tomato? I don't even like tomato, but like, how different is it from a tomato?
It's a tomato without the flavor.
I think if it was like stupid thin slices, it's fine. Little finger sandwiches. If you actually like pizza bagels, but with like some deli meat, cucumber, it's fresh. It's nice.
My go-to Subway order is ham, American cheese, lettuce, cucumber, and just a touch of mayonnaise, just to get a little moisture to it. But I know you're not a mayonnaise guy, right?
No,
I didn't think so.
I'm not a condiments guy,
right?
Like at all.
That's right. But yeah, it's just a way to like you said, it adds a little bit more of the freshness, the crispness.
Yeah, it's nice. Cucumbers are good.
Yeah.
And like cucumbers and celery are almost like the same thing.
Right, they're good because they're nothing.
It's just they're like nothing, but I hate celery.
Really?
I find celery disgusting.
I mean, it does have that like stringy weirdness.
It's got a weird aftertaste that I've hated since I was a child.
Aftertaste.
Cucumbers are like, I think tomatoes are fruit. Apparently, cucumbers are fruit too. Okay. Cucumbers and tomatoes are berries, but strawberries aren't.
Isn't it based on the location of the seeds?
I think so, and both their seeds are the same.
Are the inside, yeah, and strawberries.
But then strawberry seeds are on the outside. It's also the way they grow for some reason. But cucumbers grow underground, don't they?
No, cucumbers
they don't.
Fine.
Okay, well yeah, cucumbers are fruit.
Yeah,
it's a very, 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 very bland fruit.
Yeah, well,
corn's a grain. It's not even a vegetable. Everything we know is a lie.
Yeah, I think getting into the classification of this kind of stuff is like interesting, but also Who cares?
Yeah.
So I don't think we should talk about it anymore on our podcast.
Okay, well then tangent. Are we done with the mannequins?
I think we pretty much covered it. They're
creepy. They are creepy. That's the very first episode of the more modern Doctor Who. Was a plastic bad guy who took over all the mannequins in London, which was creepy.
Yeah, I mean the doll maker from DC Comics.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this?
I don't think so.
I don't know if it's something made up just for the Arrow TV show on the CW or not, but it's a dude who like kidnaps people, specifically attractive women,
Oh my.
and pours like plaster down their throat and lets it harden,
Oh gosh.
so they become living mannequins.
Don't like that.
Yeah, that's where it's creepy.
Okay, in your opinion, mannequins or those marionette puppets, like ventriloquist dolls, which is creepier,
Like the classic ones, like the
like Slappy
yeah
from Goosebumps or Benson or whatever his name is from Toy Story 4.
yeah those are creepier, I think, the marionette dolls, because of just it's like it's everything with those kinds of toys from like the early 1900s, where you make the eyes big and weird, the lips big and weird, and the mouth like mobile. Same thing with the cymbal clapping monkeys.
I hate those.
Yeah, because
Those are only ever used to be scary.
right, but it is a classic toy. Same with Jack in the Box. Like the big eyes that aren't like baby doll big or like, cute big. They're just wide open. It's creepy.
Yeah. There's a scene going off of that. There's a scene in The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe.
The first one?
I guess there's technically an older one, but yeah, the first one with Daniel Radcliffe
Okay.
before Angel of Death.
Yeah.
He goes into what used to be the kid's bedroom,
Mhm.
surrounded by his toys, which are all supposed to be whimsical and sweet of the time.
Yep.
Those things are horrible.
The worst.
Every single one of those toys is terrifying. I'm like, God, like even
Yeah.
without a haunting, I would not want any of those toys.
Right. That's the same thing as like our roommate. We went to her place for a little while, and her mom got a doll that she used to want as a child on display,
Put it up on a big shelf.
which is like it's straight up like an Annabelle doll. Like
Yeah.
it's creepy.
Who knows how many souls that has within
For
it?
real. Yeah. It's honestly like we're in a very lovely house right now of Andrew's family's origin,
Yes,
and
but it's got some old stuff.
it's got some old stuff in it, which it does seem like it's just antique stuff that maybe is what's creepy. But it has those,
certain weather or lighting.
yeah, it has like the little miniatures of like children, which one, I'll say, not very creepy, unless like if like we've got a weird orange lighting in here, which kind of makes it a little off-putting. But I want to step back and like, who said, yeah, I need little children in my cabinets?
Who knows? Well, technically my grandmother, but who knows?
That's true. But why was that a thing?
I don't
That
Imagine what they're gonna say about us in the future. Like, why were these bobbleheads so popular?
You know what I just
This
remembered?
is so strange.
You know what I just remembered?
What?
I was gonna bring your Christmas present, and I
Aw.
forgot about it.
Oh, it's a bobblehead.
Fuck, it's not. It's
Damn it.
miniatures.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I might as well fucking spoil it at this point. It's a set of Marvel miniatures, metal, that cover a lot of different Spider-Men and Venom
Oh,
and
that's
Spider-Gwen.
dope. So you shipped that the first time and
and-
it's lost out there in the middle of nowhere?
Shipped it the first time, came back. Shipped it the second time, came back again.
Oh, it did?
Just a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I thought
So-
it was lost.
No, I have it. It's
What the
got
hell?
Guardians of the Galaxy, Cap.
I'm excited.
like,
Well,
everything.
thank you.
Yeah,
Did
of
you
course.
put the right address?
I think it was the same one that you sent my D&D thing from.
What the hell?
I have no idea.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't like
It's not
lose
missing.
it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited.
It's in my place, so
Sweet.
next time we see each other.
Yeah. You were asking like, what should I bring? Like, nah, you got everything.
I know.
You're
Anyway,
good.
it's like sitting next to my desk.
That's hilarious.
Fuck.
But thank you. I appreciate
course.
it. I'm excited. So,
Next thing.
AI inspirational quotes.
AI, yes, going on those creepy, uncanny vibes.
Yeah, I saw on TikTok the other day, somebody had had an AI create its own inspirational quotes, and I'm gonna read them off, and Drew's gonna rate them on a scale of 1 to 10.
Is that what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, you're gonna do that,
Okay.
and I want to see how many of them make you laugh.
Is this a scale of 1 to 10 on how inspired I am? Okay.
Yes, that is what we'll do.
Okay, I'm ready.
I need to find it.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Cutting out silence is the easy part of this
Here
job.
we go. Okay.
Sit next to you for hours at a time is the hard part.
Yeah. Alright, here we go. Number 1. You can make blood sacrifices to who you want to make blood sacrifices to. The government doesn't care.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, that gives the idea of like, it doesn't matter what patron you choose. You can worship whatever devil you want to, and Mr. Obama sitting in the White House isn't gonna mind.
No.
I'm gonna say a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Yeah,
okay.
I would 6 out of 10 because it inspires me to worship deities that I would otherwise not. Not quite higher than that because blood sacrifice?
Right.
From
Yeah,
a robot?
exactly.
No, thank you.
Alright, number 2.
Yeah.
Ignorance. Sure, why not? A robot came up with that.
Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Sure,
Sure, why not?
Why not? That's a good 9 out of 10
Yeah.
because that is a slogan for our old apartment.
Yeah.
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 I mean, if you were talking like the real inspiration thing, why should I care about anything
Yeah.
when I could just not know about it in the first place?
Alright, fair enough. So 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. That's a
All
good
right,
one.
Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Trees don't care about anything but themselves.
I'm gonna say 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
Because that implies that trees can care, and
Oh.
I don't quite enjoy that.
That
thought.
is interesting. That's a good way to take it.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 out of 10. Next, number 4.
Yep.
Try to be the reason your mom loses all her Facebook friends.
Whoa. Inspirational, sure, but the right kind of
Who
inspirational?
knows? Like, you can take it any way you want. Depends
For
on what
real.
kind of friends your mom has.
I mean, let's be real. That's going to be a good 7 out of 10 because depending on how this podcast go, it may very well be the reason.
There we go. Okay, number 5.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for an outrageously satanic way of living.
Thank you very much
Outrageously satanic.
for an outrageously satanic way of living. Wow. That's okay. I can't rate that one because that's not an inspirational quote.
Yeah.
That's just a part 2 of the blood sacrifice way.
So, yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay. Number 5? End the rumors about you being a foreigner.
End the rumors about you being a foreigner?
Yeah.
Oh. That's not an inspirational quote. That's like at the bottom of propaganda.
Yeah,
So-
that's bad. These AIs are mean.
End the rumors about you being a foreigner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What are you foreign to, Drew?
what am I foreign to? This
Ignorance.
conversation, apparently.
Yeah. Next one. Virgo. Dumb.
Those are words to live by.
Oh
That's
my
not
God.
inspiration. That is a motto you should definitely follow.
Alright, here we go. Next one. Common knowledge defines social credibility as setting something on fire and expecting the people around you to be fine with it.
That's philosophical,
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 because I don't think I could understand it without hearing it again.
Yeah, I don't know. A rainy day is God telling you to give up.
That's, again, these aren't just inspirational quotes. These are just facts of life.
Oh my god. Okay, here's an interesting factoid. Being slapped repeatedly doesn't really help. I feel like that's debatable.
That truly,
Yeah.
because that really depends on what you're trying to
Yeah.
do. Because if your goal is to be slapped, then it does help. That was dumb. I'm gonna cut that one out just because that's embarrassing. How dumb that was. It's not even funny how dumb that was.
All right, next one. Hugging and kissing the filthy sole of a shoe is fun while it's happening, but embarrassing to look back on.
Oh, God. I mean, I guess that I just don't know how to respond to these, man. I don't have the brain capacity for this right
Okay,
now.
last one.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself. Having your kidneys removed can be just plain dumb. Those are inspirational quotes created by an AI.
Don't kid. That, I mean, yes. Agreed. True. 10 out of 10. Don't remove your kidneys. Unless, like, your doctor says you need to. Or something.
Alright, what's next?
I think we're awake enough. We're mentally there enough to make funny jokes about the AI anymore.
Yeah?
So, yeah, go ahead and
Cool.
get to some talking points.
Talking points.
Let's talk.
Let's do it.
Let's do it like two dudes on a couch.
Two dudes on a couch.
As opposed to
but
two
they're different
dudes
couches.
on different couches, yeah.
Yeah, alright. How many monkeys would it take to do certain things?
Okay.
How many monkeys would it take to push a car down the street?
Down,
Or
like...
to say spider monkeys.
Okay, that was my question, is what kind of monkey?
I want to say 50.
50?
50. They're little-ish.
50?
50 monkeys.
I'm going to say 6.
6?
Yeah. 4 in the back pushing, 1 steering, and another one to get the parking brake
I didn't
off.
think they actually got in. I was just thinking they just have to throw themselves at it to make it move.
Oh.
Or they, like, 50 of them pick it up and walk it down the street.
Walk it down Pikmin style?
I did not think about them actually trying to break in and... Alright, I got it in neutral, just go for it.
Not to, like... This is a great talking point.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to undermine this incredible talking point
Right,
that
of
you've
course.
got
This
going
is
on.
quality content.
Have you seen the, like, I don't know if it's like a true thing or whatever, but the stories that have been going around that apes are now in the Stone Age?
I have.
What's up with that? Is that something that's like a legit thing?
Probably
or is
a
it...
little bit. I mean, I remember years ago there was an article in a newspaper that gorillas are being observed using tools.
Interesting.
They're measuring how deep water is with sticks.
That would be an interesting thing, like a millennia from now.
Hmm.
How long is a millennia?
I don't even know.
Millennia.
Epoch.
That's
era,
1,000 years.
Millennia. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about centuries? 100 years. Millennia is 1,000 years.
It has to be because millennials were at the turn of the
Right.
the turn of the...
Okay. What's an eon? What's an era?
An era is just a segment of time. I do know
Okay.
that. It's not determined.
So.
It's determined by social change or
Ooh,
stuff like
what
that.
if they're in the Stone Age?
Yeah.
Before they're actually recording anything. What if we advance fast enough?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at how we went from airplane to moon in 60 years.
Yep.
If we keep up with that, what if we advance so quickly that we then can like leave and then we observe
Yep.
the other apes? What if that was done to us?
That's what I was going to say.
What if there's
it
something
happened?
before us that we aren't even aware of?
Right.
We were the bonobos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how did the pyramids get built? It could have been the launching point for the previous whatever. I mean, maybe it's dinosaurs. Maybe all the dinosaurs evolved to space travel and left the planet.
They got T-Rex spaceships.
Yeah, and they made up some bullshit about an asteroid or whatever. It's possible.
They left before the asteroid.
Ooh.
And the ones that died were the ones...
They were prisoners.
They were already dead.
Already dead and convicts that were menace to society.
And dinosaurs were intelligent species.
Yeah. Do you ever think that society will evolve to a point where crime is no longer necessary? Because most crime is done...
I feel like we could already be at a point where crime is not necessary. It would get to a point where if it was done because of possible mental health.
Mental health.
Or...
personal squabbles. I don't think it'll ever...
fun.
Well, that too.
The fun of the
thrill
petty theft or whatever, or bitterness. But I feel like we could easily, I say easily, we have the capability today to create a world where we would need to do it. We just won't, because we are a bitter, petty species that exists in a bunch of construct systems of money and such.
Unlike the apes.
Unlike the apes.
They're gonna
That's the scary thing, though. If apes are in the Stone Age, to watch them continue to develop, gorillas are the big, scary ones, but they are mostly gentle, and they are not the most intelligent, but they're the only ones we've really been able to teach sign language to.
Yeah.
Orangutans are very gentle, but they are more pensive and thoughtful. Chimpanzees, which are, other than bonobos, the ones that are closest, those fuckers are terrifying. Of the 4 great apes, those are the only ones observed hunting, committing murder, and just being drop of a hat aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, the gorillas are the great big ones that King Kong is based on, but like bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans are not inherently aggressive ever. If you were to just pop into the middle of one of these communities, I would not have any issues. Personally, I would not be, other than that I'm teleporting out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To pop in the middle of an orangutan community, I'd be like, well, this is bizarre. If I popped into the middle of bonobos, I'd be like, well, this is awkward because all they do all day is fuck. If it was gorillas, I'd be like, okay, this could go one way if I'm not careful. I pop into the middle of a chimpanzee community, I am dead.
Mental breakdown.
I am terrified.
In tears.
I would rather have to outrun like a bear, a pride of lions, if I had proper distance, than to be in the middle of a chimpanzee community.
Yeah. Have you seen the show? It was big in like...
Escape to Chimp Eden?
No.
Orangutan Island?
No.
Fatal Attractions?
No, but closer.
Yeah?
I'm Alive.
Oh. I think I knew of it, but I don't know if I watched it.
It was on Animal Planet. It was a collection of stories about like people who survived animal attacks. Like every other week it was a chimpanzee thing. And there were like reenactments of a guy who like got attacked by a chimpanzee and like got his fingers bit off and shit like that.
Those things are monsters.
And the one that happened in the US,
the lady in her face?
In her face, yeah. When in like Connecticut or something?
I don't know.
I think it was on the East Coast.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like it's bad because it's fascinating. Like chimps are fascinating, especially how like intelligent they are, and also
it's so
frantic and crazy.
Yeah.
It's
interesting to observe the difference between chimpanzees and bonobos.
Yeah,
and how they are so similar and so different. And like, what is it on the inside that's changed?
What if this is just a story prompt kind of a thing? What if each of those 4 great apes we're talking about is a reflection of what makes humans humans? Each one represents a very strong aspect of humans, being thought, fucking, rage, and gorilla. I don't know what the gorillas do.
Family.
I guess
Family's pretty big in orangutans, but yeah, no, that'd be interesting. Strong.
What are gorillas good at? Eating? All of them.
Gorillas are just imposing. They do not get the credit they deserve.
Pride?
Those are the king of the jungle. Pride, maybe?
Pride.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I like how 3 of these are sins.
Yeah. Well, see, okay, I wasn't giving orangutans enough credit. I had heard, I think an episode of something Animal Planet, some expert, he had said, if you were to leave a key in a chimpanzee, gorilla, or orangutan enclosure, the gorilla would try to eat it and then not worry about it. Chimpanzee would play with it for a while, maybe try to use it, and get bored with it after a while. The orangutan would hide it and wait for you to leave and then use it. So orangutans are like the silent, intelligent ones. And see, some of this is kind of explored in an intelligent way in the most recent Planet of the Apes movies. I'm going to spoil a little something.
Sure.
But anyway.
Don't hold back.
So people who have seen it, people who haven't, our main character is a chimpanzee who has been, his mother was altered with, science and whatever to make her more intelligent. It passed on to him. So he is inherently more intelligent. and he is taught sign language, and he's just more thoughtful, and he's going to lead the ape uprising. Eventually, he ends up in an ape sanctuary where he is surrounded by typical chimpanzees and an orangutan, and he eventually uses the drug to enhance all of them. But before he does that, the orangutan can already talk to him in sign language. Now, I'm not saying any of this is truly based on science, but it is portraying the orangutan as something that's already
smart enough to do
something
that.
that's very intelligent on their own. But later in the second movie, we get very classic, like Shakespeare kind of stuff. There's a betrayal. An ape frames the humans, so the other apes will fight them and whatnot. But this one ape, Koba, who is traitorous, bloodthirsty, and aggressive, and Caesar and Koba are kind of like Charles Xavier and Magneto. They both want the best for the apes, but for different perspectives. One of which, Koba, Magneto, they're both tortured. They don't give a crap about humans, but Caesar and Charles interact with them. They see the good. They want to coexist. But Koba isn't a chimpanzee. He is a bonobo. He is one step closer to humans, and he is the only one who is a bloodthirsty monster. So, like, the antagonists in all the ape movies, of course, are humans. And then the one ape who's an issue is the one closest to humanity of all of them. And I think that was a really cool touch.
That's interesting, yeah. I have to say, this whole podcast, this whole episode, has been a disaster.
Oh, yeah, nothing has been consistent. We're all over the place.
Even more so than normal.
Yeah.
Like,
you guys can skip this one if you want, but, like, if you're having fun...
Yeah, if you're having fun, listen to this bullshit.
We're 40 minutes in as well, like, damn. I feel like there's a lot that's going to be chopped out there, like this instance, which we're just wasting time.
Yeah, I mean, wasting time is going to be chopped, but...
Anyway, I love apes. Apes are cool.
I go back and forth on, like, any primate kind of a build, any primates.
Yeah, I've loved gorillas, though, since Tarzan.
I don't know. Because, like, they're cool. It's always fun to see, like... I like the idea that they're not... I don't know if this is something factual or something I just read or, like, saw in a movie.
I did my best to correct or verify.
Right. Some monkeys and apes and things, they aren't necessarily stronger than us. They just... Their brains don't... Their muscles don't feel pain as quickly, meaning their limits are heightened.
I feel like it's maybe a mixture of that.
I think so.
I feel like if you or I in a healthy time went up against a spider monkey, it'd be comparable. But chimps, orangutans, gorillas, even gibbons, mandrills, baboons,
right?
Those things there's not an ounce of fat on those things. They are just muscle.
Right. I think it was something along the lines of, like, the maximum pulling force before destruction of the muscles are similar or comparable. Yeah. We just feel the pain sooner and more severe.
We also hold ourselves back when we're, like, aware of it. Someone pointed that out with zombies. I think somebody had said, why is it zombies can, like, rip doors down and rip my flesh to pieces, but I can't open a Doritos bag? Because we are aware of it. We don't let ourselves go nuts.
Go ham on a door and you'll get that thing off the hinges.
Exactly. And then, you know, there are times when our bodies are weirdly, they break down easily, but at the same time we get those motherly instinct, oh no, my child's under a car,
the adrenaline
every
bumps.
Now and then, and we can go we can go ape shit, pun intended.
Yeah,
now and then. It's just we can't seem to maintain it.
Yeah. I feel like there was something. Oh, we talked about this outside of a podcast, just on a drive back.
Yeah.
Human bodybuilders are incredible.
Yeah.
They spend their entire lives training for it. Can you imagine if other animals
did that?
Were able to train outside of just survival? If they had the freedom to diet for the benefit of prime nutrition, work out every day more than just survival, how awful would a weightlifting gorilla be?
Right, or a gorilla on steroids.
Exactly that.
See, I was also wondering, though, after you said that, is the environment they live in not the prime example of building up to
Well,
what you can be?
Sure, but I go back to the gorilla example. A gorilla who lives his entire life in the jungle, he's going to be a beast. But a gorilla who lives his entire life with no worries and in a gym lifting weights,
Mm-hmm.
like humans can put on a surprising amount of muscle in a couple months just from starting to lift weights.
Right. Is there anything to be said for show muscle versus work muscle?
Well, yeah, that's why the bodybuilder example is kind of a bad deal. But there is, I mean, outside of like the show muscle, work muscle thing,
Mm-hmm.
every athlete works out and lifts weights to improve their times and stuff. I say times because I'm a track nerd, but to improve their performance. A gorilla has never lifted anything heavy, particularly
with the purpose of
with a purpose.
working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we were able to get a gorilla to lift weights and continuously improve for a few months and then maintain that,
Yeah. What would
that's
it be?
and then like properly, like gorillas eat mainly fruit, right?
Yeah, vegetation. They are herbivores.
Herbivore. So if we were able to supplement that with like protein mixes and stuff to help rebuild the muscles, really go full personal trainer on a gorilla, how much more could it do? How much stronger would it actually turn out to be?
Terrifying.
But my thought with that originally was, what if we could do something similar to wolves? And then I thought about it a little bit, and like that's the same thing as like dog show dogs. Like they train every day and they have the proper nutrition, and it's not that much different.
It's almost like wolves might just be the healthiest, strongest thing a dog
Could
be. So they're already there.
Yeah. Which does bring into the point where like
'Cause they're also made for these environments.
right.
In a lot of ways. Like we healthy humans, I guess, that are out doing their thing versus bodybuilders, that's different. But like gorillas, wolves, bears, the healthy versions are eating the things they need to eat and doing the things they need to do, and they are at the peak.
Yeah, that's a good point. Humans, like, if humans just focus on the diet that they had in nature, maybe there would be more health.
Yeah.
Like there.
But it's interesting to look at pictures of the healthy people from like old pictures, like tribal people. Like
Yeah.
they don't have rippling
It doesn't
abs
seem
or
like
pectorals. They are function
Mhm.
in the way they need to function.
Right.
And it goes back to there's not an ounce of fat on those people.
Right.
It's just the body.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, there's something to be said about that where the muscle, because like for me personally, I did cross country for 8 years, track for like 6 or something, I don't remember. But I would lift weights consistently and never like grow any muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I have that body type where it would just burn the fat away and strengthen,
Yeah.
as opposed to being showy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just it. Maybe it's less in this tribal example. It's less about having big showy muscles, which is supplementing extra protein in your diet and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just instead adding on strength,
Yeah.
which could be the animal stuff too.
Yeah.
Where they're not big and bulky. They don't look as, for the most part, don't look like muscular beasts, but instead are as strong as they should be,
Right.
because it's what nature intended.
Exactly. Animals, man.
Do bugs have muscles?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't have a clue.
I don't know anything about etymology.
I know some. I know that we only have daylight savings because of entomology.
Did I say etymology? The study of words?
Maybe. Entomology.
Which one's right?
Study of bugs is entomology, I think. But the first guy, what?
Entomology is bugs.
Entomology is the study of bugs.
I said etymology.
And the first guy to ever suggest the idea of daylight savings was a entomologist in New Zealand who wanted more time in the evening to study bugs. That's why we have to wake up an hour earlier in the spring.
It's only in the U.S. too. Like, I hate it.
I hate it. The fallback one is nice though.
I would prefer to not have to deal with it. It would just save so many issues.
Since it's already there, I like when I get an extra hour.
Yeah, well,
I hate losing it, but we should just fall back constantly.
Just keep losing time.
Just keep losing time.
Eventually, you have to switch to like 12-hour shifts. Ugh. Yeah, it was also something along the lines. This also could have been just a thing I heard in elementary school to kind of justify it on like Pioneer Day or something.
Mm-hmm.
But so that children could make it back in time to have daylight left to work with their families after school. Mm-hmm. After school became a public.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I don't know how big of a reason that was, or if
that may have been a reason for not changing it back in the early years.
Yeah,
where Mr. Bugman wanted to study more, and it turned out that it worked out for people. But when was that established? Do you have any idea? Time period?
No idea. After World War One.
Really?
That's what they say in National Treasure, so don't quote me.
Okay, well then, that's fine. I was thinking of like, if it were earlier than that, how difficult it would be to get everyone on the same page.
Oh yeah, there's still places that don't do it.
Right. I remember, maybe I'm making this up, but I think when I was growing up, Indiana didn't.
Really?
Or something? That may be wrong.
That would be ridiculous.
That's right.
Aha! Fact check. Yeah, because I remember going to my grandma's who lived in Indiana, and there would be a time change. My mom, who worked in Indiana, would have to have 2 clocks, one for her Ohio time, one for her Indiana time.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah, and only for half the year.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's petty.
It's dumb. I mean, the whole concept of changing your time is dumb.
Yeah.
Like.
But it's also, in a way, interesting, because by the very definition, if you had a plane, you could time travel.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that with time zones anyway. Like,
yeah, you just time travel.
Yeah. It is weird. Like, I always think back to the police interrogations.
All right.
If you were to ask, like, let me think. In the spring, I always forget how this fucking works. You spring forward, so when it's normally 1 o'clock, it would be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning there's a whole hour of time missing, right? Because 1 o'clock never happened. It's 2 o'clock now.
Does it hit 1 and then go to 2, or does? Oh.
It would say like 12:59, 2 o'clock. So I always think back to police interrogations of where were you at 1 a.m. on like this day. It's like
where were you?
1 a.m. didn't happen.
Yeah, I wasn't around at 1 a.m.
Touche.
So,
you can't arrest me. That's my my trump card is that. Man, that's
like, okay. Well, where were you at 2? Oh, I was killing.
Yeah, I killed the guy, but you.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, you can't prove it because you said 1 o'clock, and my lawyer's here now. So, thanks. I don't know. I've never been to jail. I don't know how this works.
Same.
We should go.
I want to go once, like bucket list.
I do not.
I don't want to go to prison, but I want to go to jail.
Like a drunk tank kind of a thing. Just get.
I hope I wouldn't be drunk because I don't like getting sick. But like, I want to party so hard. At one point, I go to some tiny little town, like Andy Griffith Mayberry. 1 night
just
jail.
One cell.
Just 1 night.
You got the deputy sitting out at the desk watching you all night.
It's a bar door. There's a bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there for 12 hours.
I would hate that.
Just to say that I went. I'm an artist. My record is like hardly ever gonna matter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about like the 60s and going to jail for good reasons.
Yeah.
That's
oh yeah. I would go to jail for those reasons.
Right.
Like right cause kind of stuff. Absolutely. But I'm not. We're so far away from anything. Well, yeah. It's a different experience, but
yeah.
Part of me would think it would be cool.
Yeah.
Aquaman's been to jail.
Aquaman or
well, that's part of his comic history, kind of. But like Jason Momoa, he was at some of those pipeline protests with our indigenous citizens, and he was arrested
before being famous.
No, he was mid Aquaman.
That's cool.
This.
Okay, that's awesome. That's somebody who you would see in jail and be like, "Whoa!"
It's like, "Whoa! Who would have thought this day just got better?"
Yeah.
Sitting in jail, I was like, "Oh, you come home." I was like, "I told you. What did I tell you? You're in jail. How do you feel?" It's like, "Well, I met Aquaman, so
yeah."
my day's going fine.
Yeah, and that's something too. If you're sitting on a pillow of $1 billion from being a movie star,
Right.
going to jail has a little bit of a different.
Yeah,
weight.
you look up Reddit stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
Rich people, like they don't. Laws aren't laws if you have money.
Truly.
It's like so somebody would say there's like a parking like fine if you park here, and someone says like, "Oh, you can't park here." It's like, "Oh no, you can't. It just costs
money. Yeah.
It's like, "Oh my god, that perspective on laws is so gross."
Yeah,
The fact that you can just do that if you have enough money.
There's a lot of like dumb little like loophole kind of videos I see where it's like it's all dumb stuff, but some of them are like, you know, paying $25 for parking or pay $5 at a Waffle House and for a meal and then leave your car there. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like they can't legally, of course, I'm sure there's no basis in this, but the idea is legally because you're a paying customer there, they can't kick you out, which is just plain wrong. But those ideas of just having money making things not apply to you, especially like speeding is most of the time a fine, unless you're like 100 in a school zone.
Right.
But
yeah.
actually, that's one thing from driving school that is interesting. The worst punishment between speeding in a school zone and speeding in a construction zone punishes you harder than a school zone does.
It's because it probably costs more money if you mess up in a construction zone.
Yeah.
And they're more concerned with that than if you run over children.
Yeah, it's something like the fine is more severe in a school zone, but whatever fine you get in a construction zone is doubled or something like that.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I just had a point and I've lost it.
Being rich gets you out of things, jail, Jason Momoa.
Oh, kind of the loopholes with being, or just money in general. Yeah. It's like connected, but it's not. But it made me think of it. So have you seen those things where it's like, I need to cancel my appointment? It's like, well, if you cancel,
you'll have to pay a fee.
Before or like after, you had to cancel 2 weeks in advance.
Yep.
And it's tomorrow. And it cost you $50 to cancel now. It's like, oh, okay.
So
can I reschedule? It's like, oh, absolutely. I'd like to reschedule for 2 weeks, please. It's like, cool, yeah, we got it. Anything else? Yeah, I'd like to cancel. It's like, but you, what's the problem? Like, what?
Those social loopholes are like popular right now because of how dumb they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if you speak technically, that would work.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it took you more time and probably cost more money.
Right.
To do that.
Right, because that's, especially for like a large doctor kind of a thing, that's missing phone calls that you're...
Yeah, because you have to... God.
Yeah.
It's silly.
I mean, that's when we get into the problems of charging fines and charging fees for the dumbest shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand canceling an appointment last minute. That shouldn't really be a fine. It's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
But...
Sometimes you can't help it.
Sometimes you can't help it. And charging people to do it is just kind of shitty. But there's a lot of things like that where it's like, do you really need to charge me for this?
No, they don't, but they're gonna.
They're gonna, yeah.
They're always out to get you.
Right. It's like, yeah, I've got nothing. That was an empty sentence.
Yeah.
That was one of those, I threw the words out and was like, I'll come up with something by the time I get to the end of it.
So all over the place. We answered one monkey question.
Yeah, I still think 6.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go with 6.
Just because, like, once you get into the neutral, especially if you're on, like, a downhill.
How many monkeys would it take to take down an elephant? African elephant.
That's the bigger one?
Yeah.
Still with spider monkeys?
Yeah. No weapons.
Like, just get down or, like...
They gotta kill it.
They gotta kill it.
They're taking him down.
Yeah.
Like the monkeys are it's an uprising of spider monkeys.
Yep.
How many?
1.
1?
Yeah, one really smart one.
One really smart one.
Mm-hmm.
With like gun?
No, you said no. You said no weapons.
Yeah, no what? Okay, how is that one spider monkey gonna do that?
They have like nails, right?
Kinda.
Cool.
But an elephant is already smart, too. It could just step on it or grab it with its trunk.
All it's got to do is get inside the mouth, go into the stomach, and scratch.
All the elephant has to do is bite down when the monkey goes into his mouth.
Just got to get past the teeth.
The teeth are the size of the monkey.
Yeah.
I don't think one is enough.
Think about it this way. This is going to be disgusting.
I don't think a monkey...
This is going to be disgusting.
Who would do that?
But think about it this way. You said the teeth are the size of the monkey?
Yeah.
Imagine trying to bite something the size of your tooth, trying to get to the back of your throat before it gets there. You also don't have hands to help.
Trunk.
You got a trunk, sure. You could... Okay, so you have one hand that can hardly fit in your mouth. It's just got to get past.
But how is it going to open its mouth?
Elephants run around with their mouth open. They kind of have that like...
But like, if you're trying to get into its mouth, I feel like it would keep its mouth closed. It's a stealth mission.
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as a fuzzy thing was in its mouth, it would close its mouth and it would crush the monkey.
It's the only way you can tell is if you feel it on your tongue. And if the monkey's smart enough, it would just cling on. And there's no way without biting your tongue that you could do it.
I don't think I could do it.
I feel
like it would suffocate, or its eyes would burn in the stomach acid before it could do any permanent damage.
I'm thinking
even if it got to the stomach. I don't think it could fit down the esophagus without it wouldn't fit down the esophagus.
Maybe that's the case. Instead of doing damage in the stomach, do as much damage to the mouth as you can.
You can try and choke it with your body.
I mean, you could choke it, or if you're able to, this is really risking it, but do enough damage and then escape. The elephant's not going to want to eat because it's going to hurt too much, which eventually it'll starve taking the elephant down. It just takes one, man.
I don't think it's possible.
It just takes one.
I just don't.
And a perfect set of circumstances.
I don't agree.
You don't have to.
I know, but I think that's ridiculous. I feel like an elephant versus a monkey.
Well, let's do it like this. One scorpion gets in your mouth. You miss the initial crunch.
They're venomous, though.
Okay, one little tiny crab gets in your mouth. You miss the crunch.
They've got exoskeletons.
You miss the crunch. Yeah, it sneaks on by before you can crunch. Now it's on your tongue, slicing up the back with its claws.
What's preventing me from spitting it out?
It's grabbing on. This is a monkey who, well, in this case it would be a crab with its claw, but this is a monkey who's built to hold on to things. The only way you could get it off is biting your tongue off.
I hate that part of this makes sense.
Yeah.
I want people to vote. Monkey versus elephant. What do you think? Let us know.
I'm telling you.
We'll let the people decide.
The person who listens to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, who's here at this point?
I was going to say, yeah, not to say that nobody listens to our shit. It's the people who are listening to this right now.
Right.
Like, if you made it, we say that every time. Maybe we need to be more entertaining.
We have no confidence in ourselves, but also, this is ridiculous.
We need to be more entertaining. If we don't have any faith that anybody makes it to the end of these, what's the fucking point?
I know, exactly. We need to be better.
We'll get there. We're in the prototype stage.
What?
We're in the prototype stage. The first 5 years are always the roughest, right?
Oh, God. What's your favorite kind of monkey?
Monkey?
Yeah, monkey.
The throat sack monkeys.
Howler monkeys?
Yeah.
There we go. It's understandable. They're pretty cool.
I like the weirdness.
I like either the painted monkeys or the golden lion tamarin.
I don't know if this is, I remember it or I just pinned you as a tamarin lover.
Tamarin lover?
Mm-hmm.
They're cool. Golden lion tamarin's a very pretty monkey. Squirrel monkeys are cute too. Mandrills are terrifying.
Where do the little things, eyes fit in the primate
Those
scale?
are lemurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the ones with the creepy eyes, right?
Yeah, they got the weird witch fingers.
Weird witch fingers, yeah.
They've got the creepy fingers and their middle fingers like long and bony for tapping on
Did you watch...
wood.
I think it was on Animal Planet for some fucking reason, but the show called Lost Tapes.
Yes! And it's all cryptid
horror.
reenactments. I thought those were real.
Me too.
When I was a child, I thought they were real.
Yeah, me too. Me and my
New Jersey
friend...
Devil, Titanoboa.
Dover Demon.
Yeah.
That one was terrifying.
Cryptids, man.
I want to go back and watch that. Who owns Animal Planet?
I don't know anymore. Animal Planet last couple of years have been nothing but dog stuff, river monsters, and Bigfoot documentaries.
And like the animal law.
Animal Law, pit bulls and parolees.
Well, like Houston animal cops and stuff
it's
like
not
that.
what it used to be. When we were growing up, it had
good.
Crocodile Hunter, Most Extreme, National Geographic stuff, Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Untamed and Uncut
Untamed
was
and
wild.
Uncut. Like Growing Up Wild, which was like a baby animal story.
The fact that Untamed and Uncut aired on television, it showed like people getting their arms ripped off and
Yeah.
shit. That's disgusting.
They had actual animal stuff on Animal Planet, and now it's just...
I remember my favorite thing in middle school, coming home at 3:30, was Big Cat Diary.
Yes,
was
I remember
on.
that one. Big Cat
I watched
Diary.
that every day.
And then in the morning, we'd watch this before we went to school. Orangutan Island and
Yeah.
Escape to Chimp Eden, and then in the afternoons or evenings there was Meerkat Manor.
Meerkat Manor.
Like, Animal Planet had animal stuff on it.
Yeah. And this is coming from two nerds who, like, earlier today we watched animal documentaries.
Yeah, we did.
So, like, we're very documentary heavy. But
Oh, yeah.
the fact that Animal Planet devolved into, like, do you remember the, like, 2010s Animal Planet transition where it was, like, Monsters Inside Me and Fatal Attractions and shit like
Yeah,
that?
I got into weirder stuff. I hate Monsters Inside Me.
I never...
hate...
Parasites and all that stuff.
Almost nothing I hate more. Parasites are the fucking worst.
Absolutely. I don't want to think about it.
Mm-mm.
Any aspect of it
Mm-mm.
at all.
No. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just to kind of... It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. I do need to figure out who owns Animal Planet, though, so I can know what streaming service all of their old content would be on.
Most Extreme was my favorite because it was a countdown of like the strongest animals or
That's
the
on
most
Netflix.
motherly. It is?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
If it's on Netflix, I'll watch the hell out of that.
Or
again.
something similar.
But it was funny because it would count down, and my siblings and I would be like, "All right, one of us is 8 years old, so whatever 8 is, that's what you are for the day.
Oh, yeah.
One of us is 5, so whatever 5 is, that's what you are for the day." And then we'd like move up. So if we were 12, that means you're 2.
Okay.
If you were
cycles
15,
over.
you were 5. Yeah, and we would watch the hell out of that. And then the Discovery Channel, I don't know how different it is, but like back in the same day, it was Deadliest Catch, How It's Made, Dirty Jobs,
I miss How It's Made.
Mythbusters.
Yeah, the Mythbusters, like, saga was weird after it ended.
Yeah,
Because they did, like, a game show to see who the next Mythbusters
they tried to
would be.
continue, and I gotta give them a little bit of credit for that. But like,
Yeah.
I've not seen or heard anything about it. Do you remember that Grant died?
Yeah,
That-
recently.
I forget
last year.
about that now and then, and I
Yeah.
see it now and then. I'll see it again. It just surprises me. That sucks.
Yeah.
Adam is still trying to do stuff.
Adam has tested on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, I saw, I watched Critical Role, and they used to be part of Geek and Sundry,
Mm-hmm.
who did, like, they'd bring in people to play board games, and on my recommended was Grant Imahara playing board games, and I was like, man, I can't even watch that. Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to get through it.
I can't believe it.
Um,
It just sucks. Mythbusters, they were great.
very much so.
They made science so much fun.
And that's what one thing that's really missing now is nothing out there makes learning fun anymore.
Well, I feel like with streaming services, if the studio or whatever owns the streaming service doesn't want to do it, they don't make shows like that anymore because no one gets a streaming service for a episodic documentary of sorts.
No.
They don't do that.
Yeah,
And when it's a streaming service, you have everything to pick from. So like,
yeah, it's very much like on Netflix. The only reason we go to documentaries is because of who we are and what we were raised doing.
yeah,
I loved watching Big Cat Diary.
But
Loved watching
the
Meerkat
documentaries
Manor.
that people care about on Netflix are the specials
Well,
and the murder people.
murder mysteries, yeah, or not murder mysteries, but the true crime people. But if we're talking about like children, I watched Big Cat Diary because I liked the African cats, and it was something that I could do after school. If I were the same person, the same kid, but today,
Mhm.
coming home from school with all the access to everything on Netflix, I would watch anything else,
Yeah.
some type of cartoon and something.
And
Which-
we still watched our fair share of cartoons.
Absolutely.
But Animal Planet was still a thing. Before I was okay, so any of you that don't know, I was homeschooled
Mhm.
for the longest time.
and I was public school all the
Yeah,
way.
you were. But so like I was not waking up when other kids were waking up.
Mhm.
But for a while on Animal Planet, they were doing Prehistoric Park.
Yeah.
And I thought it was real, but it was only on at 8 in the morning. I was getting up at 8 in the
On
morning
your own, yeah.
to watch Prehistoric Park.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the best thing. I didn't do Saturday morning cartoons.
I didn't really either. I did in the very early days.
I never...
Like when I was 5, but then I found...
It was
then
just...
we had better TV.
Yeah.
That was back, we only had PBS or whatever.
For me,
it was on.
the 4Kids stuff
Yeah.
was, you know, it was all Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I didn't care about. It was Dragon Ball, which I thought was too boring. Yeah, my Saturday morning cartoons, instead of doing that, I would do whatever was on Animal Planet,
Mhm.
which back in the day was good stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to consult Google
Okay.
a little bit because I feel like we're forgetting some for sure.
Of
And we're gonna spark some nostalgia thoughts. Jeff Corwin, I watched him a couple of times. He was like Steve Irwin and Jack Hanna adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
He was always wearing a blue shirt.
Weird, True, and Freaky.
What?
Weird, True, and Freaky.
I remember that.
That was a good
one. Tanked. That was kind of cool for a while.
Tanked was cool. That ran for a while.
It did, and they made some cool shit. And they were like goofy dudes from like Jersey or New York or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were like, there was a lot of their drama or whatever. But then when it got to the fish, they were all nerd. Yeah. They could tell you everything about a copper-banded butterfly, Tang, and the blue and yellow Tang. Or like, they were into it. It wasn't just a show. It wasn't just a business. They cared about that shit.
Absolutely.
Big Cat Tales.
Yep.
Verminators. I think that was a Discovery Channel one.
Treehouse Masters, which really shouldn't be on Animal Planet.
No. I don't actually recognize a lot of these names. They're more recent. Wild Russia, I remember that one. And of course, all the variations of the Crocodile Hunter.
That was a whole series. The Wild series. There was like Wild Russia, Wild Alaska, stuff like that. That's another thing. My two favorite, like... what is it? Not species. Classifications of animals are... felines, like African cats and stuff like that, and also birds.
Oh, yeah.
So anything like, especially in like 3rd, 4th grade, everything birds I was super into. Eagles, falcons, stuff like that. Hawks and all that stuff. Not so much owls. I wasn't a Harry Potter kid.
I love owls.
It comes from Harry Potter, though. Like,
oh, well.
Yeah. I was more into the, like, intense-looking birds of prey as opposed to the stoic, wise-looking one. But, yeah, that meant, like, Wild Alaska and stuff like that I would pay attention to more because it showed the eagles and stuff, which I was always into.
Yeah. So a lot of these shows, actually... Okay, so here's a couple, if they spark some memories.
Yep.
I'm Alive.
Yep.
I Shouldn't Be Alive.
Oh, God.
House Cat, House Call. Grizzly Man. The Future is Wild. Fatal Attractions. Into the Lion's Den. It's Me or the Dog. I've never heard of Lemur Street.
That sounds familiar.
Really?
I think that was one that rode on the coattails of Meerkat Manor.
Lost Tapes. Meerkat Manor. Meet the Penguins.
We need to find Lost Tapes and watch those.
Mm-hmm. Monster Inside Me.
Never am going to see that.
Nope.
Never.
Most Extreme, that was my favorite. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Yep.
Ocean's Deadliest. Orangutan Island.
My Cat from Hell.
Yeah.
Those were just...
The Planet's Funniest Animals. I watched a lot of that.
Yeah.
Prehistoric Park. There it is. Puppy Bowl.
Right. The Yearly Puppy Bowl.
Secret Life of the Zoo. I watched a couple times. There was one episode that gave me so much like anxiety, but in a all business kind of way. So what was going on? It was a zoo down in Florida, and there was a hurricane warning, and they weren't gonna survive it. So what they did, they had people like inland who had like farm property. They moved every animal out of that zoo,
man,
and got out just in time. And watching all of them just seamlessly working, like they had to get everything together. Big animals had to go into these trailers. Little ones had to be in enclosures they were going to be stuck in for a while. Every reptile, every bird, and it was just like, oh my god.
That's
It
a
was like,
nightmare.
you're okay. This is related to this, but like, you ever have that internal feeling of action? Like, you don't want an emergency. You don't want something to deal with, but like when it happens,
You're
that
ready.
feeling you have, like
Mhm.
when there's a horrible storm coming and you got to be all business, you're like, I don't want anyone to be hurt, but I like this feeling of
Yeah,
have to do like you know what I'm
had
talking
that a couple
about?
times. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if I sound crazy or if
No.
it's like
So to give like a practical example to that, I remember specifically after a track meet, I came home, the wind came in, the storm like started, sideways rain kind of shit.
yeah.
When we were still raising sheep, and there was a sheep who like got scared and stayed out of the barn. So it was like in my track uniform, with sweatpants on, just like taking off my sweatshirt to not get like super heavy and weighed down, jumping over the fence to get that lamb in.
Uh-huh.
That kind of feeling where it's
It's like flirting with danger.
yeah, a little bit.
Like it feels good.
Mhm.
And like watching that, it was crazy because they got everything out. But as a kid, I was like, oh my god, this is nuts.
Yeah.
And I don't. They either got really lucky, that
Mhm.
film crew,
Yeah.
or somehow they were waiting
Right.
for that. But like they got every animal out of there,
Right.
and it was so cool.
Yeah. And just to be like frank, I'm not an adrenaline junkie in any way. I don't like roller coasters or anything like that.
I don't know if I am or if I'm not.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes I feel like I am, and other times I'm like, no, I don't need to do that.
I have no interest in skydiving or bungee jumping or anything like that. But those little moments,
Yeah, it's almost like we're like, you're gonna be okay.
it's the
It's before everything is actually serious.
right. It's the Dota moment that we saw in the second to last episode of the new Dota series on Netflix, which is good.
Like he likes knowing that there's a problem he can solve.
Right. So basically what happens, there's a guy named Davion, he's a dragon knight, he slays dragons. Stuff happens. Not going to spoil anything here, but there are eventually a bunch of problems that he doesn't know how to deal with. Then there are dragons again, and he gets a smirk on his face.
Like, why are you excited about this? These things could kill us.
Yeah, and he straight up says like, it just feels good to have a problem I know how to solve for once in this venture. And it's very much that. Like,
Right.
this is something that I know how to deal with, and I know how to deal with it without consulting anything.
Mhm.
There's no time to worry about it. I know what I have to do. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think we need to find lost tapes somewhere
We do.
and watch through those, because those are fucking terrifying.
Right. But also, from what I remember, they're also terrible.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Skinwalker episode is horrible.
Like bad quality?
It's just the acting is horrible.
I remember, because my friend from...
There's some that were terrifying. The Hellhound episode?
I don't think I saw that one.
Terrifying.
Dover Demon scared the fuck out of me.
I don't know if I saw that one. The
Um,
New Jersey Devil one was a little weird, though.
The one that I remember being the most scared of was like a vampire thing. It lived in like an attic or a house or something.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It like
It was bad. Yeah, I mean, it was scary.
like
Yeah.
I'm legit freaking out about it at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah?
Like I don't want to go to bed anymore.
Mm.
I was tired, no more. But I think we need to get our hands on those
Yeah.
to watch through them again.
That we should.
Give our cryptid
I love cryptids.
like
That's gonna be. I'm gonna say that for
a different
another
day.
episode. Be
Yeah,
like,
we're getting to the end.
I
of this one.
have. Yeah, so here's a little foreshadowing or tidbit for the next one. I've always found it interesting the kinds of monsters that are popular in Europe,
Mhm.
popular in like Japan and Asia in general, and then the ones that we have over here.
Yep. The one thing that concerns me is when cryptids from like here, Europe, Asia, Australia, all share common things.
Oh, that yeah. I take that as like just a unspoken. Yeah, okay, this is real.
right.
Not gonna think about it in like a creepy, like in
Like-
a ridiculous way,
Yeah.
like you see in Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
a
more of
Bigfoot
like-
believer.
Right, but it's
But-
also like it's one of those things where I can just quietly accept that and not let that affect my daily life.
Right.
Be like, it's just in the back of my head. It's like if
like-
everyone's recorded that, I'm just gonna assume there's more to that
Right.
than the crazy backwater stories.
Yeah.
and
I
I'm
mean,
just gonna move on.
That one specifically, like there's Bigfoot and Yetis and like
There's ape creatures of some sort
Everywhere.
all over the world.
Yeah.
And see, I am of the mind. I have very strong. This might be where we end it, but I am of the mind that Bigfoot. You say Bigfoot and you immediately turn your brain off because of what he's associated with. You say Yeti and it's different, but Bigfoot has negative, crazy connotations. Loch Ness kind of walks that line too.
Yeah.
But Bigfoot, I feel, should not be included in any paranormal or cryptid chunk. I'm not even saying like you should just accept it, but what I'm saying is there is an actual animal, the Gigantopithecus, which is a giant, it's like an orangutan that was huge. It's bigger than a gorilla, and it could stand on its hind legs. And there used to be a land bridge that connected Asia and Alaska, long, long, long ago. And there's artwork of indigenous native people that what they called the grass man.
Yep.
It was just included with other animals. They didn't consider it something paranormal. So what I think of when it comes to like Bigfoot, it's just maybe there were 2 or 3 Gigantopithecus that were left
still walking around.
And maybe they died off as we developed cameras.
Right.
But I could totally see it all being fake. Because it is interesting that as we live into a time where everyone has a camera, the sightings have dropped off significantly. But I feel like it shouldn't be included in the same boat as the New Jersey Devil or the Mothman, or other ones like that, because it could so easily just be
Chupacabra.
Like those are different. Those are things that you think about. Well, what if there is the paranormal? But Bigfoot, come on.
It's a little.
There are primate species all over the world.
Yeah.
What if there were two? There's a species of horse that was believed to be extinct. They found it again in Europe.
Just like
they thought coelacanths were extinct. They found it again.
Yeah.
Like, what if there was a couple of Gigantopithecus?
It's not like there are pretty bizarre animals that, like the Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah,
with the weird mouth thing,
and it's got stripes all down its back and everything.
If somebody saw that again, or like on an island, like those the what are they called? Fuck, the islands with people on them, but the people are primitive and don't like outsiders.
I don't know what it's
so they're
called,
left alone.
But yeah.
Maybe there's some species of animals there that we believe to be extinct.
Who knows?
Right. Can you imagine a tribe that tamed Tasmanian tigers?
No.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I just feel like, and I don't have big opinions on that classic Bigfoot video, because there are scientists who say definitively it can't be a suit, and scientists who say definitively it can only be a suit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really care. It's just fun to watch now and then.
Yeah.
But like, as far as the existence of an ape-like creature that's only an animal, it doesn't exist in a monster sense, I have no problem just accepting that. But I don't feel the need to hop on the Bigfoot hunting show bandwagon and be like, oh, you don't believe in Bigfoot? Well, you're a nut. I've seen it.
Right.
Like, I don't really care either way, but I'm not the one to just disregard, like, oh, it's all costumes. That's all stupid. Like,
I mean, fuck,
who knows?
We've got a thing underwater the size of, like, a building that can just cruise around. Why not something that looks kind of like a guy walking through the forest?
And, like, people have said similar things, actually, about Loch Ness. It could just be a plesiosaur that's not extinct yet. Who knows what's at the bottom of the ocean?
Right.
No one knows. Giant squids are still, and some people consider it a fictional creature. Giant squids exist.
Yeah.
Sperm whales eat them. Sperm whales have massive scars along their bodies. Who did that? Giant squids. We have actual video of giant squids.
Bigfoot did it.
Bigfoot did it? Yeah. Well,
Bigfoot has a scuba tank and he goes and hunts
down.
sperm whales.
He goes down and he swims down there.
They have the best blubber.
But yeah, that's what we're going to end on, is that I guess I technically revealed I believe in Bigfoot, but not in the same way that the Tracking Down Bigfoot Animal Planet documentary guys do.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to find it. I can just think it's just a scientific thing that's dying off, or already died off, but maybe we mingled with it just a little.
There is something to be said about, like, the quote search for it, that we haven't found any, like, corpses or signs or anything.
Right.
But even to that point, there could be some crazy bacteria that lives in them that can make them deteriorate sooner.
Yeah, we live, like, we don't exactly have a whole lot of fossilizing opportunities nowadays.
Nature is wild. and
Yeah.
it can do crazy things.
Mm-hmm. Who knows, man?
Right.
Who knows? But we'll get into what I feel about Mothman.
We'll have some
another
cryptid
day.
talks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're big into cryptids and that idea too.
absolutely.
So
I have the Weird Ohio book.
we need to go through that. I was thinking about that as an
It
episode.
might be here. I might have it here actually. But so yeah, that's our. I don't know how this started, and I don't know where it went, but we're ended on Bigfoot.
We're in on Bigfoot. We hit AI in the middle, monkeys, movies, mannequins. Monkeys, movies, mannequins.
Have a good day.